Hello guys, you are welcome to Blazing Fashion class. Today guys, we are going to be drafting an off-shoulder blouse with an illusion neckline pattern. But first of all guys, I would appreciate if you guys give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Stay tuned guys, let me show you how to draft it. First of all, you draft your basic body. You take your basic body measurements, which are, you may take your armhole measurements, the 1 inch slant, your upper bust measurements, your nipple bust measurements, or some call it bust point measurement, but mine I prefer calling it nipple point measurements. Then your under bust and your round waist measurements. You use your ruler to connect the lines so that in order for you not to get confused while carrying out the drafting. So after carrying out your basic measurements, you now connect your nipple to nipple measurement lines. Your nipple to nipple measurement divide by 2 plus 0.5 inches. Like the nipple to nipple measurement I'm using is 7. I divide it by 2, it gives me 3.5 plus 0.5 inch, that's 4. So from your bust line, you measure your 4 inches, connect it to your nipple points, down to your under bust, also to your round waist, and use your ruler to connect the lines, because this nipple points measurement is very necessary in order to give your blouse a perfect and curvy shape while you've cutting it out. So after getting your nipple to nipple measurements, then now you now take your measurements of your body in order to give it that curvy shape that you want. And in order to get that measurement, you divide your bust measurements from your under bust measurement. With the bust measurement I'm using here is 36 divided by minus the under bust measurement, that's 31. It gives me 5. Then 5 divided by 2, that's 2.5. So from your left hand side you measure 1 inches. From your left hand side you measure 1 inches from your under bust. Then to your right hand side you measure the remaining 1.5 inches. Then use your ruler to connect it from your under bust to your round waist. Then after getting that, you now measure from your nipple point, measure 0.5 downward and also 0.5 upward in order to get a perfect slant line. So from there you now get a curve. If you have a curvy ruler, from the 0.5 downward that you've gotten from your nipple point, you connect it to that same line of your under bust to get a curvy shape. In order for your bust, because of our bust is not straight, it's very curvy. So in order for your blouse to, instead of it pointing out, it's better you give it a curvy shape. That is why it's required for you to give it a curvy way. So after that, the 0.5 inches that you've gotten at the upside here, your armhole measurement here, the middle point of your armhole measurement, like the armhole measurement I'm using here is 7, and the middle point, the middle of the armhole measurement is 3.5, and this is my 3.5. So you now connect it to that 0.5 upper to your nipple points. So from that same place, you measure 0.5 inches from that point downward. That is how I got this. Then you also give it a slant measurement to connect the same line, to enter the same line to that of the line, to give it a perfect shape. Also, when you've gotten that, you now extend it by 1 inches upward in order to get a perfect curve armhole. This is how I extend it. From here to here is 1 inches. Then you now create another armhole to give it a perfect shape, a perfect curve. But guys, remember, if you are doing an off shoulder, there's no need of you making your armhole to be curvy. You cannot give it a slant curvy by using your roller. But this drafting I'm doing here, this pattern is not an off shoulder, it's a neck shoulder, is a blouse with a shoulder attached to it. That's the reason why I didn't make mine to be slanty but curvy. So guys, take note, in case you're doing that of your off shoulder, you don't need to curve it here, just give it a slant here. So after that, then guys, you take your normal measurements. Your bust measurement, divide by 4 plus 2 inches allowance or 3 inches allowance. You give your marked it, same measurements to your nipple points. Use the same measurement of your bust measurements, divided by 4 plus 2 inches allowance. Then when it comes down to your under bust measurements, You divide your underbust, that is the underbust I'm using here is 31 inches. 31 inches divided by 4 plus that 2.5 inches that I've got to be taken from here. Plus that 2.5 inches that I've taken from here, you now add it plus extra 2.2 inches. All what I got was 12.75. You mark it. The same method you use your round waist divide by 4 plus that 2.5 inches then plus extra 2 inches allowance. Once you've gotten your board, your figure, you now use your ruler to connect the lines from your bust points, for your bust points to your nipple points to your underbust, then to your round waist. After that, guys, we're almost done. Then we'll now construct our neck illusion. There are two ways, guys, for you to get an illusion neck. You can either get it from, you can construct the one of an off shoulder with an illusion neck, or the one that have a shoulder with an illusion neck. But the one I'm doing today is the one that have a shoulder, not an off shoulder. And notice, guys, if you want to create an illusion neck with the one of off shoulder, at your neck, your shoulder measurements, you come downward here with 2.5 inches or 3 inches, depending on how wide you want your off shoulder to be. You come down with 2.5 or 3.5 inches straight to your bust line. My bust line here, I took 1.5 inches here. So but if you don't want it more wider, you can take yours to be 1.25. But here, I prefer yours to be 1. That's why I take 1.5 inches. Then you come down to where you want to stop your illusion neck. Like the illusion neck I'm doing today is the one that is stopping at under bust. But there's some illusion neck that you can, if you want to take it to your round waist, you can take it to your round, depending on what your customers or the client are sewing it for wants it. Like the one I'm sewing it for, prefer it to be the under bust. That is why I'm stopping mine to the under bust. But if it is the one, if you prefer yours to be at the round waist, you can take it to the round waist. But since no matter where you are stopping yours, you take 0.5 inches or 0.3 inches down here. But don't forget your bust line, you take 1.5 inches. And since mine is not an off shoulder illusion neck, I'm doing that with an illusion neck connected to the shoulder yoke. So I will take from my shoulder, this is just like a guard line. We don't need this shoulder neck, just like a guard line. So from here, I'll measure my 2 inches. Then from here, I'll connect from the 2 inches to my bust line, which is this 1.5 inches. Then from my bust line, I'll now connect it to the 0.5 inches under the under bust line measurements. So you now use your ruler or your curvy material, your curvy ruler, to connect it. But guys, if you're using your ruler, if you don't have a curve ruler, you can use your ruler to connect it, then use your hand to give it a curvy shape, because you don't need it to be that straight. The illusion neck don't need to be straight, sharp. You have to give it a little curvy neck, most especially from the bust line. You need to have that curvy shape. So guys, I think this is it. This is how you get your illusion neck. And don't forget, if you want it downward, you can extend it downward. But mine, I'm stopping it here. So guys, hold on. Let me cut it out for you guys to see how splendid it looks. So guys, this is how the cutouts of the blouse looks like. This is the other side of the bust. This is the illusion, the other part of it, and this is the yoke. This serves as the yoke. So guys, this is the yoke. But if you decide to input your yoke in your clothes, in your fabrics, there's no need of you to do away with this. But if you are not making use of it, you do away with this. But there are some clients who prefer to still who still prefer their yoke to still be attached to it. But the one I'm making, I don't need the yoke. I'm only making use of this. But this still serves as the yoke in case you want to make use of it. For me, I'm keeping that aside. And this is how to achieve your illusion neck. This is how the illusion neck looks like. And if you prefer to input your yoke back, you can do that. But here, instead of me putting my yoke, you can use it. You can use the same your fabrics or your net material to fix it here in order to bring out the beauty of the blouse that you are going to sew. So guys, this is how the illusion neck look like. and that's of the drafting of the off-shoulder blouse. So guys, if you have any question, you can put it on the comment box and I will attend to your question, guys. Thanks so much for watching Lazy Fashion Pattern Drafting. Guys, I appreciate it if you likes my video and give the thumbs up subscription. Thanks so much. See you next time. Hi guys, so for the back pattern of the illusion neck that we did at the front, the back pattern that we are going to we are going to draft is that of a princess dart bustier method. That is what I'm drafting out to attach to the illusion neck that we drafted. It's not necessary for you guys to still carry out the illusion neck at the back. You can actually just draft a normal princess dart bustier method to attach it to the front illusion neck off shoulder blouse that we just did. So guys, this is how I draft it out. I've already carried out the necessary points. So I'm going to explain to you on how I achieve all this. But if you know how to draft a normal basic body, this shouldn't be a problem, because as well as I draft it out, you understand the only difference is just the princess, that the darts and that of the line attached to the armhole. But if you guys still don't know how, for those that don't know how to draft a normal basic body, there's no problem. I'm still going to explain to you guys on how we achieve this. So first of all, you bring out your 1.5 inches here for your zip allowance. You can actually go for 2 inches or 1.5, but me, I prefer using 1.5 because I don't want the back to always have a bulginess in it. Then after bringing out your zip allowance, you bring out your 1 inches. Measure your shoulder. The shoulder I'm using is 7 inches. Then bring out your 1 inch slant, connect it up there. Then draft your neckline. You can use 3 inches or 4 inches, but me, I just try to use 4 inches. Then depend on how wide you want your back to be. You can leave it for 5 inches or 6 or 7 inches. This line is just like a guideline for you to get your perfect curve at the neck. So from your 1 inch slope that you got here, you measure your armhole. The armhole I'm using is 7 inches. So that's how I arrived at my 7 inches. Then I connect the lines here. This line now serves as my bust line, my upper bust line. Why this line serves as my nipple points, but some call it bustier points. Serves as my nipple points, and this serves as my under bust. Why this is my round waist. So for my nipple point, it was 11 inches I cut. My under bust is 14.5 inches. My round waist is 18 inches. So that's how you connect the lines so as not to make you to get confused. This line is just like a guidelines for you to have a perfect and neater drafting out. So after carrying this out, then you can bring out your princess dart out, which is your nipple to nipple point divided by 2 plus 0.5 inches. The nipple to nipple point I'm using here, it's 7 divided by 2 gives me 3.5 plus 0.5 inches. I got 4. Then from your zip allowance, you measure 4 inches to here. That is how I got 4. Then from the middle of the 4 inches, both on your left and your right pattern, this is a back. It's not like at the front that the front is more bigger than our back, so we don't need much allowance at the back. So just to carry out a little allowance, we just need only 0.5 inches there. So both on the front and the left and the right hand side, you draft out your 0.5 inches. So you connect it from your under bust to your round waist. Then from there, you bring it to your nipple point, that's your bust points, to get a perfect point out curve. So now you go to your armhole measurements, and measure out the middle point of your armhole measurement. The armhole I'm using is 7, so the middle point of my armhole measurement is 3.5. So this is why I got the 3.5. Then you now connect it that up to the straight to the nipple points dots. You don't need to use ruler if you use like just a freehand sketching, because you don't need that line to be straight. You just need to be a little bit of curvy. So from the middle point you trace it down here. So from that place, from that same middle point, you can create your armhole measurements here. You can extend it to 2 inches. 2 inches wide gap. But guys, there's something that you guys need to note. If it's a off-shoulder bustier tube you are drafting, there's no need of you carrying out this curvy armhole. You just have to make it slanty. But this is not a off-shoulder dress I'm making. It's just a normal princess that normal armhole. That is the reason why I made mine to be a little bit curvy. So after getting your armhole, you take your bust measurements, divide by 4 plus 2 inches or 3 inches. Mine was 2 inches, so I got 11 inches. The same measurements for my nipple points. So my under bust measurement was 31 inches. I divided by 4 plus this 0.5 inches, that is 1 inches attached to it, plus extra 2 inches allowance, and I got 12.75. Same also with my round waist measurement. So once you've gotten the figures of your measurements, then you use your ruler to connect the lines. So, and again, that I think it's very easy. Achieving a princess that bust is very an easy method. It's just like a normal basic body. You draft it out, then just attach your princess that attached to it. And again, there's something you guys need to know. In order for you to get a perfect standing back body shape, you don't forget, you know that if you don't carry this out, once we've concluded our sewing of our blouse, you will see a little bit of bulginess at the back. It doesn't make the clothes to look fitted and fine. So you carry that just to remove that bulginess at the back of your clothes. You measure 1 inch upward from your round waist measurements, 1 inch upward, then connect it to the same line of your round waist downward. This line is we are going to use our scissors to cut out this line so as to remove any bulginess at the back of our clothes or blouse once we've sewn it, guys. So guys, this is how to draft your normal princess that bustier method. Stay tuned, guys. Let me draft it, let me cut it out for you guys to see how splendid it will look. So guys, this is how the cutout looks like. You now see that bulginess that I removed, the 1 inch bulginess. Look how slant it looks. And that is how, when you place it on your fabrics and you cut it and sew it, and you add, when you've gotten your final measurements joining, you will now see that the bulginess will not be there. You will see a standing fitted back that will show at the back side of the blouse. So guys, this is how the princess that bustier, the back pattern looks like. This is the zip allowance, and don't forget, guys, that you need to also separate your zip allowance side. Just how it looks here. See, so this is how it looks. This is the zip, and this is the side of the back. So guys, I think I appreciate it for staying tuned to watch my tutorial. Guys, please don't forget to give me a like and subscribe to my channels. Thanks so much, guys. See you next time.